Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my Closet Confession podcast, where confessions become connections. So today is going to be a tough one. I'm going to talk about my anxiety story. So I started when I was 23. And before the whole thing happened, I'll explain, I never had an issue with anxiety. I thought that anxiety is just like people keep thinking and worrying. But I had no idea that it can actually manifest in so many different ways in our body. So I ended up being in a very abusive relationship. And when I say abusive, I mean verbally. I was with somebody that was a very, very big narcissist. And a lot of people don't know that, but being with a narcissist, especially for like many years, can cause severe anxiety and mental issues. So before that, again, I didn't know anything about anxiety. I didn't know anything about panic attacks. And because I was living with this person that would make me feel that I'm not enough, that I didn't feel like a woman. I felt neglect every day. And try to be outside the house as much as possible. So I got 2 jobs. I'll be a receptionist at a gym during the day, and then I'll bartend during the night. I thought that, that was a way to escape because I'm not very good with conversations. It was my first relationship ever, so I didn't know any better. I didn't know what I was doing. So I got this second job, and on the first day, when I'm learning everything, how to use the system, it's a job that I've never done before. So I was nervous, but I don't consider myself being very like an anxious person before that. So keep that in mind. So I'm learning everything, and then I get some nasty messages from him. So I was overstimulated for sure, and I started having an anxiety attack. At that time, I didn't know it was anxiety attack. I thought that I was just sick. I don't even know. And I thought that because I was a little bit underweight, maybe that would be the issues. Anyways, I didn't take a break. I just carried on through my whole shift. I didn't say anything about it. Like, if you saw me, you have no idea that I was going through an anxiety attack. So I got home and I was super worried about these physical feelings that I had and started going to the doctor. And I was obsessed. I did every single blood work that exists. And I even lied that I had severe headaches I got an MRI scan on my brain. Every single blood work or test that I did would come back negative, which I should be very happy about. But at the same time, I couldn't understand what was wrong with me. So that would give me even more anxiety. So eventually, after 3 months, my doctor sat me down and he told me that there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your health, but it's probably anxiety. And I just started laughing at him. I'm like, I don't have anxiety. I don't worry about things, I don't believe in that stuff. And he asked me to see a therapist, of course, because I didn't believe that I had anxiety. I didn't believe in therapy either. So I started seeing this counselor. I didn't feel connected. I didn't feel that I could open up to her. So I stopped going. But if you leave anxiety untreated, it's not something that can go away like that. So you can understand that it started becoming worse and worse to the point that I couldn't even go to work. The only thing I could do is go to the gym, but I was scared to go and leave my room. I was scared to go shopping. I was scared that I would have another attack. That was my fear. And a lot of times it would manifest. That's the thing. So anxiety can manifest in so many different ways. It can be lightheaded. You can start feeling dizzy. My worst symptom was being depersonalized. It was like me observing myself, like watching a movie, and that would freak me out. Who is doing that? Who is saying those things? Who is doing these movements? Because I'm not doing that. It's such a weird feeling. Yeah, some other times would be feeling nauseous. Every time is different. And that's the thing with anxiety. It can manifest in so many different physical ways. It's insane. So when I started being so desperate because it had affected my personal and professional life, my mom begged me to come back to Greece. and to start seeing a therapist. And honestly, I needed a break. I needed to get out of London, and I had already left that relationship, but I could not treat myself. So I went back and I promised my mom that I was going to go see a therapist, even though I didn't believe. And I was very, very lucky because I got introduced to this amazing person that from the very first moment, I believed that she could actually help me. She explained to me what anxiety is. She explained to me what all the symptoms are and that I'm not crazy. And she challenged me. So I did cognitive behavior therapy and exposure therapy, which is what works for me. So she challenged me a lot. I had to do things that were super scary for me. Again, I lived in London for so many years that I wasn't aware of the streets in Greece because I'd never driven in Greece. So I had to take the bus to go to her clinic. She didn't want me and anybody drop me there. She wanted me to be very independent and start overcoming all my fears of being outside by myself. I owe that to her. Where I am right now, I wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for her, honestly. I never took any drugs because I didn't want to be on anything. And honestly, being dependent on drugs is not something that I wanted. And I was really, really young as well. So she asked me if I wanted to, and I said I don't want to, because mine was more physical. It wasn't me worrying about a bunch of things. It was more physical. My worry was when the next anxiety attack is going to happen. That was my biggest fear. So it went really well with her. When I moved to LA, I kept some sessions with her through Skype. And there was a point that she told me, have given you all the tools. And that's the thing about Greece. And I really, really respect that they will fix the problem. They won't go around it. So she was very, very honest and she had integrity. And I really, really respect that about her. So she told me, we don't need to do any more sessions. I've given you all the tools. I think you're doing great. And I mean, I would get anxiety attacks, but I had the tools too. That's the thing with anxiety. It's not going to go away. You just learn how to cope with it. That is the main idea. So I would have some periods that they would be a little bit more stressful in general, and that would, trigger my anxiety a little more. But I knew how to use the tools. But it was until COVID that you guys can understand a lot of people got it. More anxiety and more depression. So I started having more episodes and I got to the point that I asked for some supplements or something, drugs. Unfortunately, I'm not a good responder. So I tried Prozac and I also tried a ketamine therapy, which was prescribed, and it will make my symptoms even worse. Ketamine also gave me depression and insane, very, very negative thoughts. So unfortunately, I'm not good responded. What does work for me, it's propanol, I think, or beta blockers. So that's something that I take when I did a very, very big attack to the point that I cannot deal without taking something. I recently started using ashwagandha and I also started praying. I believe that it has helped me a lot. So what I want to emphasize that I promise myself that I am not going to let my anxiety take over my life. And I won't let it affect my choices and prevent me from doing what I want to do. And I'm not going to lie, it's not easy. There's times that I go to the other podcast that I'm working on and I get insane anxiety attacks in the morning before I go. And it's a torture, it is. But I promise myself that I'm not going to let it affect my life and my professional life. Once you open up, honestly, you realize that there's so many people that suffer from anxiety and panic attacks. You're not alone. And it's something that is not going to go away. But if you learn the right tools, you will be able to cope with it. So I want to ask you guys if you have any other tips, what works for you. And I hope you found this episode educational. I hope you got some good advice. And I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.